Here's the best way on when to pay a credit card bill. Man, I wish I knew this. Listen, you and I have to understand that credit is a game, and whether we like it or not, you're opted in this game, okay? Why? Because when you're 18 years or older, right, you're gonna want a car, you're gonna want a house or a mortgage or investment properties, and you're gonna want high limit credit cards to travel, hack, etc., right? Well, without this video, you're not gonna really master credit until you master this section of your credit, okay? You and I both know that credit and or credit repair is really about habits. What do I mean by that? Knowing when to pay your credit card bill is essential to building your financial status or to building your credit, all right? So now that we think about it as a game, you have to learn how to master this game. And there's certain sections of this credit profile that is broken down into percentages and graphs, right? Think about it as a pie graph, okay? Now, if you're looking at this and if you have children, or if you ever wondered, man, I wish they would have taught this in school, I agree. I wish they would too, which they should start teaching. But this part, we're gonna have to focus on math. And I have a son, he always asks, when am I gonna use math? I said, you better not bring home a bad grade in math, because math is something that's one of the most truest things in earth. What I mean by that, you have to know their fractions and percentages. And this is how you can show your kid that we actually do use this stuff in real life. You know how kids would be like, well, when are we gonna use this in real life? Well, this video, you can show them this is what you can use in real life, all right? Now, let's go back to the math section, right? Pie graph. We're breaking it up to 5 sections, okay? But we're gonna only talk about today only the 2 of the sections. That's very important. Why do I have to talk about 2? Because the first section is called payment history, which is 35% of your score. That's the first part of the pie graph. It's the most important. Now, if you haven't already, click the link below to obtain your credit reports. You cannot do this without clicking the link below and obtaining your credit reports. How are you gonna know what percentage you're at, all right? Always get credit monitoring. Even if you have an 850 credit score, click the link below to get your credit monitoring. It protects you from identity theft, pulls your tri-merge reports, all 3 reports, experience, training, and Equifax, so you know where you're at, especially after this video, and how to master it, and a bunch more benefits. So grab that so we can move forward. All right, let's keep moving forward. So the pie graph, 35% of your score is payment history. Now, once you pull that report, you're gonna wanna check that all of your accounts, if you haven't done so yet, call your banker or furnisher, etc., that you want to be set up on auto pay. This is gonna be directly taken out of your checking account, so make sure you have funds in there, okay? Obviously, you want this auto draft before the statement date, at least 3 to 5 days before the statement date. We're gonna talk about that later in the video, but make sure all of those are on auto pay. Why? Because we don't want to miss a payment. We don't want to be late 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, 180, etc. Why? Because once you have a late payment, which means after the due date, which, you know, you should have a calendar. You should have notifications on your phone anyways, but make sure you're on auto pay. Call the bank and say, hey, I'd like to be put up on auto pay. They'll ask for your name, social, etc. to verify who you are. And they're gonna ask for your bank account ACH. Make sure you ACH that direct deposit into the minimum payment so you can be on time. Listen, like I said, credit is about habits. You do this habit for over 10 years plus, you'll have a perfect 850 credit score. This is where everything derives off of. If you're late 30 days, right? What does that mean? If you're late 30 days, that means your credit score is gonna drop at least 50 to 180 points. We don't want that. You had another late payment, 60 days, 90 days. Well, now that card's gonna get shut off, or now the collections company is gonna get talked about, or a charge off, or they might sue you. You never know. All right, so that's why I'm saying this is the most important part. Everything derives from payment history, okay? But that's not why you're here. Why you're here is you wanna know when to pay and the best way to pay a credit card bill, okay? But I need you to understand the mindset first on where everything starts so you can pay that credit card bill, all right? So now that you know you created the habits, which credit and or credit repair is about creating habits. Everybody say, what's the best way to fix your credit? Paying your stuff on time for a long period of time, 3 to 5 days before the statement date, and keeping it below percentage. That's about it, all right? Obviously, if you have your credit messed up, you already know who to go to, the best in the game. We have the most video client testimonials in the industry. See, a lot of people in the credit repair industry have a lot of ads. They're doing great on the screen and they say we can get it done fast. Don't trust a credit repair company on a monthly recurrent, but that's all bogus, all right? They don't have more video client testimonials than me. I trust a person for what they do for other people, all right? I'm not the GOAT. My clients call me the GOAT. You know, it's up to you. Who do you want to listen to? Just look at the people's reviews, look at the people's results. And if you don't believe me, let's just see what this client had to say about us.
Good morning. I am doing a testimonial for Joshua Rico and his team at Approved Repair. My name is Erica and I am a small business owner. And due to fraudulent activity on my personal credit, it made me such at risk for not being able to keep my business open. And so with the help of Rico and his team, they were very professional, communicate quite often, available for after hours communication for me on a chat. And I just found it to be very helpful in my own growth and knowledge about what my rights are as a consumer. And so Joshua Rico at Approved Repair, I am highly recommending them, and you should get them too if you know that you have been a victim of fraud and you deserve a better life and a lifestyle, and you want a team that's proactive, professional, and hold you and themselves accountable to a standard. I've tried other companies, and I can tell you that by far, this is the only company I would recommend. Thank you.
Awesome. So obviously I have many more. I could put out a testimonial every day for the year and still not run out. But listen, if you do need credit repair, before we get into the video, click the link below or text repair to 951-400-4352 to schedule a call with my team, or take advantage of the special discount that's in the description if you're ready to get started, and then hop on. All right. So we already talked about payment history, the first part of the pie graph, right? That's 35% of your score. The next one is why you're here. This is the main section we're going to be talking about in today's video, which is credit card utilization, aka credit card use. This is worth 30% of your score. Look at guys, already right there. We're at 65% total. It's a big chunk. So this is the second most important part. What do I mean by this? Well, have you ever wondered, well, why is my credit score keep going up and down, up and down? I don't get it. I don't have any collections. I don't have any late payments. It just keeps going up and down. I have a lot of credit repair companies ask me that too. This is the main reason why I'm putting on the video. It's not just about, just credit repair. It's also about building and understanding the game, like I said. So if you master this part of the game, your credit score is going to be far much better. Now, credit score is not everything. Really, the data points in there matter. That's on another video. But if you need to mortgage your house or business funding, you need to, especially business funding, you need to master this section, okay? So let me ask you, what do you think the credit utilization percentage needs to be? Comment below. I'm curious to know. I'll wait. Well, if you don't know, I recommend 6% or lower, okay? Now we're gonna do a little bit of math here, right? Again, this is why I tell you can use this in real life. But look, in that pie graph, the 30% utilization, in this section, everything is opposite. What do I mean by that? The higher your utilization percentage is, the lower your score is gonna be. It's a weird game, huh? However, the lower your utilization percentage is, the higher your score is gonna be. It's crazy, all right? But it makes sense. What does this mean? In this section is mainly your credit card bills, your credit cards, your total limits of your credit cards, and how much you've used of that total limit. For example purposes only. Let's say we have a $1,000 credit card with Chase or maybe Federal, etc. Okay, it's a $1,000 limit, and you have used $500 out of that $1,000 limit. What percentage are we at? Correct. We are at 50%. Now, according to lenders out there, do they recommend you at 50%? No, they recommend you at 30 below. So right there, you're tanking your score. But you're probably like, wait, Rico, I got a $1,000 limit. Why can't I use the full 1,000? I never said you can't use the full 1,000. Matter of fact, I recommend you use the full 1,000. But what is different from elite credit people, the elites in the credit industry, is they know how to manage their credit card bills. This video is going to help you do so. Again, click the link below to get those credit reports so you know where you're at. What I want you to do is call your credit card companies, list all your credit cards, okay? And I'm gonna give you some gems here. List all your credit cards that you have, okay? Chase Bank, Wells Fargo, etc. All right, you're gonna put it on your notepad or in your memo section. You're gonna get their number. Obviously, if you have the mobile app, the biometrics, do that. Save everything out there because everything is on your phone nowadays. Put your credit cards on there, etc. Okay? And don't worry about identity theft because if you got that link below from the credit monitoring, you'd be covered, all right? That's another story, but let me keep going. So you're gonna call your credit card companies and you're gonna write this information down. When is my billing cycle start and when does my billing cycle end? All right, you can write that down. You write the date down and then you put it into your calendar and put notifications and alarms every month recurring at this time. This is the most important part. There's statement date and there's due date. You know how you get the credit card bill? I don't know if you're paperless, but I recommend you get the credit card bill mailed to you and you break it down. When's the billing cycle start? When's the billing cycle end? When's the opening date? When's the statement reporting date? And when's the due date? Now it'll say the due date and you as a consumer, you're focused on the due date when you shouldn't. You should be focused on the statement reporting date. So this is what I want you to ask them. Be like, hey, when is my statement reporting date? When do you guys report to the credit bureaus? And they'll give you that date. Now, what I want you to do is 3 to 5 days before the statement reporting date, that's when I want you to pay. Why, Rico? Well, this is why you see fluctuations in your credit reports, okay? Credit is a journey. It goes up and down, up and down. It can go down, it can go up, but if you maintain, you'll be on the uptrend. So you can use the full $1,000, but if you pay it off in that month, the full statement balance before it reports, then really you're at 0%. Let me explain. Okay, let's say I need to know when you report it. So for example, I have some clients that come to me, Rico, you guys are doing great, but what's going on here? My credit score keeps jumping up and down. That's why I say in credit repair, credit and credit repair alone, this is a team effort, whether it's doing it yourself or you're hiring a credit repair. Why? Because we can't possibly pay your credit cards for you. You have to do that. So that's why it's a team effort. We'll dispute the negative items off the credit report. Again, if you need your credit repair, click the link below or text repair to 951-400-4352. Man, let's just show them another testimonial how good we are. Let's go.
Hey guys, my name is Gabby Seidel. I'm an active duty Marine.
My name is Mark. I'm a veteran of the Marine Corps, 10 and a half years.
We've been married for 7 years and we got our credit fixed by Approved Repair with Josh Rico. We were sitting at 518 and now we're hitting 720 in about 6 months after starting the program. We don't like to boast, right? We don't like to brag or anything, but because of Rico and all his hard work, we were able to afford this 2024 Volkswagen
Jetta, GLI.
Yeah, we bought it. We got approved for it in December of 2023. So it was kind of a short process working with Approved Repair, fixing my husband's credit. Now I'm next, so I'm very excited to continue to work with Rico. If you guys think it's a scam, it's really not. He's asking for your social, your driver's license, and proof of record. I get it. It's a lot. Just take that leap of faith, okay? He's a good guy. He works with a bunch of great people, and they're only here to help you and fix your credit. So take that leap of faith just like us, and you'll be buying that new house or that new whip here shortly. All right, you guys, good luck.
You see what I'm saying? Like, a lot of people, they can't provide the results. But anyways, again, if you need credit repair, click the link below. But let's keep going. So they'll say, Rico, you guys are disputing the negative items, but my score keeps jumping up and down. I asked them, what is your credit card utilization? It's high right now. Okay, which means you've been using your credit cards. Yeah, but I paid that off. Did you pay it off on the due date or the statement reporting date? I paid it when it was due. You're wrong. You need to pay before the statement reporting date. Ask your bank, call the bank of that credit card and ask them, when is that date? And start paying 3 to 5 days, because you know some payments take a couple business days to report, right? So pay 3 to 5 days before the statement date. Lock it in your calendar, write it down if you have to on a sticky note. There should be no excuses after this video. And if it are, you're just digging yourself in the hole, all right? So what I'm saying is pay before the statement date, statement reporting date. Those are two different dates. Okay. Once you understand this, you're going to be far off better with your credit journey. Now, a lot of people say pay off the full credit card. This is what I want you to do. I wouldn't pay off all of the credit cards, because you want to get high limit credit cards to increase your credit cards. You want to get these credit card companies to increase your limits. Why? Because let's say if you do have $1,000 credit card and you've been paying for 6 months to a year on time, etc., but every time you've been using $500, right? Let's say you have $500 used out of that $1,000. You're at 50%, right? But what happens if you ask for a credit limit increase? Now, I do recommend you always ask for a credit limit increase. There's some banks that you can ask in 3 months. There's some banks you can ask in 6. There's some banks you can ask in 12 months, okay? But first, before you do that, ask if they do a soft pull. If they do a soft pull, go for it, right? If they do a hard pull, you want to do it strategically. And what I mean by hard pull, I mean hard inquiry, all right? If it's worth it, go ahead, pull the trigger. If it's not, wait until you're at a specific data point in your credit reports, okay? Now, what if you have $500 used off of that credit card? It was a 1,000 limit, right? You're at 50%. What happens if they increase it to 2,000? 25%, which lowers your utilization, which boosts your score. That's why people say, hey, can I get trade lines or authorized users? Yes, you can, but I would recommend you building your own primaries first, so you can do your own credit limit increases. And if you can't do that from there, then yes, you want to make a quick move, then you can go for trade lines. I recommend reaching out to a family friend or grandma that has it, someone who you know, like a trust, before buying them. But if you do have to buy them, you can buy them as well. Just be careful who you get them from. Now, what happens in this credit card bill cycle? What happens if you have a late fee? All right. Late fees happen sometimes. They're usually $29, but you can ask and call them, hey, can we get that waived? I don't know what was going on. There was insufficient funds, but can we get that waived? Usually they'll waive it. Your allotted amount of fees to get waived through the year, they say, but just go for it all. just go ask. It doesn't hurt to ask. But again, if you are late, communicate with the bank. Hey, say, look, I need a forbearance, or I need this is what's going on. I need a document. I'm in the hospital, etc. Always communicate with the banks and the credit bureaus, okay? If you are going to make a late payment, which I don't recommend, but always, communicate. But the main thing of this video is if you master how to pay your credit card bill or know when to pay your credit card bill, it's before the statement reporting date. You can use the full 1,000 again, but just pay that full 1,000 off or leave a little bit on there. What I mean by a little bit on there, leave like the 6% I'm talking about, right? Whatever is 6% of 1,000. Let's do math real quick. This is what I'm telling you. You see, this is why math is very important. I got my calculator here. You want to leave $60 on a remaining balance, okay? Out of the 1,000. Why? You want to give a little bit of, the credit card companies are here to make money, all right? They won't give you credit limit increases if they see that you're avoiding the interest payments and by paying off to zero to avoid interest. Look, that sounds all good and everything, right? But you want these credit limit increases. You want this boost in the score. I don't know why 0% is not better than 1 to 6% utilization overall limits. No, I do know why. Because of the fact that credit card companies want to incentivize them of making money off of you. But if they see that you're properly in that ideal percentage, right? And why do I say ideal? I'm going to give you a prime example. How do I know this? If you have Experian, go to the Experian app, or the desktop, laptop work best. But go to where it says credit card utilization. There's going to be a legend there, right? It's going to say your total limit and where you're at in that percentage. They'll have a line right here that says 30% is where we want you, but they have another line down the road that says 6%. Why do they say 6%? It's because this is ideal. This is where you have to get it to where you have perfect credit, right? Remember, it's a pie graph. 35% of your score is payment history, 30% of your score is credit card utilization, 15% is average age history, 10% is a mix of credit, and another 10% is hard inquiries, okay? New credit. But the big chunk is the payment history and the credit card utilization. Why is the credit card utilization? Remember, it's a game. And if you master that part of the game, the 30% of the game, you're gonna boost your score even more. Now, let me tell you this. If you don't have a credit card, you're doing yourself a major disservice, okay? Let's say you wipe your credit clean, you're done with credit repair, you graduated, right? But you have no credit cards. Well, you're actually in a worse position because now lenders don't even trust you. They don't trust you because they don't talk about the banks. Remember, lenders need to see that you handled a home, student loan, personal expense loan, auto loan, and credit cards. That's a mix. That's a blend of credit. That's 10% of your score. That's also in the game I'm talking about. But the credit card bill is 30%. Why? Because these banks hold the power, all right, unfortunately. But you do too if you know how to master the game. So I want you at 6% utilization. You can use the full credit card limit. You can even liquidate it and or use it. But use it wisely. You should be using, first of all, you should be using your credit cards daily for your everyday expenses and then paying off the credit cards with your debit card. That's another video, but that's like one-on-one, all right? But keeping your utilization low is gonna boost your credit score, and knowing when to pay that credit card bill is gonna boost your credit score. If you need your credit fixed, text repair to 951-400-4352, schedule a call with my team, or just click the link below. And again, we lead by proof. If you don't believe how good we are, just check this out.
I mean, my credit score rose over 120 points, so.
Awesome. That's 120 points. Wow.
I mean, my score has went up tremendously and it's still rising. I mean, you hit the ground running pretty much. And I mean, as soon as you guys started, things were getting sent out, things were getting negated, things that I don't think people realize will sit there. Just little things. And also your knowledge on your website too. If you really take the time to look at your website, I feel like I know everything that's going on. It's not like I'm just handing the platform to you and being like, okay, go to work. Your website gives the ability to let everybody know exactly what's happening every step, and it even gives you tutorials to learn for yourself what you already know. So that's a big thing for me.
And there you have it. All right. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Make sure you like, subscribe, hit that bell notification, comment, share this with your peoples. And if you want more videos like this, just comment what you want me to talk about and I'll make a video about it. All right. So what did we talk about today? We talked about when to pay your credit card bill. The best way to pay your credit card bill is obtaining your credit reports and calling the bankers and asking what's your limits. You want to know how much is used. Ask them to send you the credit card statement. Send it to you in the mail so you can follow along of what I'm talking about. Circle each statement. But what I'm saying is you need to know 2 dates. You need to know the statement reporting date. This is when they report to the bureaus in that billing cycle. You need to know those dates, put it in your calendar, set alarms to when they automatically draft that. And then call the bank and say, hey, I would like to pay the minimum every month on this date once you find out that date. Okay. Now, do not go past the due date for more than 30 days. then you're going to have to come see me for credit repair. And to be honest with you, credit repair, yeah, we own a company, we own a successful company, but the goal is to not need credit repair. The goal is to understand to when you don't need the credit repair. So there you have it. Now you know the best way and when to pay a credit card bill. If you understand this, you're starting to get the game. You're going to put yourself ahead tremendously by understanding when to pay your credit card bill, which affects your credit score. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe, hit that bell notification, and until next time, peace.